Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 54 and the finale of the Gilded City. So I hope you're excited to see where this campaign ends, see what these characters do afterward, and who knows, there might be some hints for what's to come next in here as well. But if you are excited for the finale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on social media at RollerSkillDND. If you follow the podcast, hi, hope y'all are doing great. After this episode, content on the podcast might get a little spotty, so make sure that you follow us on social media so that you know when new audio content is up. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and dive on in to the finale. Last time, after about 7 months of hard work, rooting out the leaders of a conspiracy by the major capitalists to control Waterdeep, the party came into conflict with their most dangerous adversary yet, the ancient red dragon Fearkindler. After an intense battle, the party managed to banish Fearkindler from the city using the dragon staff and became heroes of Waterdeep. Rumors of these heroes calling themselves in Tandem spread quickly.
You bet.
It is now the morning after the big fight, and it is the day of the special election to see if Janara is going to, at least temporarily, we'll see what long-term looks like, but at least temporarily take a seat in Congress. So the castle ward is still on fire. It is less on fire than it was yesterday. And fire crews are still hard at work controlling it, putting out the blaze and all that stuff. So the castle ward is not an area that you want to go to right now. But with all that being said, you all wake up at various times over the course of the day. Janara, first thing in the morning, you're called downstairs by Joyce because Khadijah has showed up. As you sort of come into the drawing room, she turns to you and she's like, "Busy day yesterday?"
You could say that.
You made the front page. And she throws a newspaper down on the table, Waterdeep Times, written by neither Octavia or Penny. This was, of course, the junior reporter that they saw.
It's the one that Penny bullied.
It's the one that Penny bullied, yes. But yes. And his name is Adam Huxley. and it's a write-up about the new heroes of Waterdeep, and there's a picture of all of you coming out of the burning wreckage of Castle Waterdeep. And based on the angle he took the picture, you are pretty front and center.
Great.
So, first of all, I should probably say, thank you for saving the city from an ancient red dragon. But moving past that, we're not sure how this is going to affect your polling numbers.
Yeah, I sort of figured that.
Let's think optimistically. You're a hero. People love to vote for heroes. Our president, our current president, is a war hero. He's, in his second term and has a good shot, unfortunately, of winning a third. So, who knows? Maybe this will be good. On the other hand, the castle ward was mostly burned down, so there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all we can really do is wait and see and possibly go. Where are they doing the election?
That's an excellent question. I've been talking to my contacts in the government. They are having to work quickly on establishing a secondary polling place because the main one was in the castle ward. So the election polls won't open until midday today, and they'll put out mass notices to everybody who can vote where that location will be. My guess is it will be somewhere here in the seaboard, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Right.
So I'm going to get to work on making some changes to the victory and concession speeches because of the whole dragon thing. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you again, I guess.
You're welcome, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna get to work. If you need me, I'll be around here. I've got the people coming to set up for the party later. Will be coming in.
Do we have a count of how many people died yesterday?
Not yet. Numbers are still coming in. Relatively low. All things
Still feels
considered.
very odd to have a party after that.
Sure. Think of it as they think of it as celebrating the future of the city while mourning lives lost. Celebrating the fact that Waterdeep has a future whilst acknowledging the tragedy that has occurred.
Okay. Right.
It's lucky that it was the castle ward only that took the damage. Hardly anybody actually lives in the castle ward, so it's mostly businesses and government buildings and whatnot. So there were a lot of people there because it was a work day, but people at least had places to flee to.
Okay. Right.
Great. So she starts getting to work, and you get ready for the day, whatever the day has in store. What's everybody else doing this morning, if anything, other than just recovering?
This is pretty hungover, but is trying to get right out there and rally the wealthy people to go and vote. Handing out, like, trying to figure out where the polling place is actually going to be.
Yeah.
Handing out information.
Yeah, make a investigation check for me.
A natural 20.
Wow. You managed to find out.
Now I roll a natural 20. No,
Yep.
it actually matters.
Yep. You managed to find out very early in the morning where the polling place is going to be. And it is in the C ward.
I'm gonna just like have a bunch of little scraps of paper that say where the polling place is and what time the polls are open. And I'm just on a corner in the district, just like election today, vote for Janara, election today.
Great. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check for me
God.
as well. Just
You're gonna balance out that 20.
I sure am. Okay, I think it was on a 5, but it was in a shadow, and when I moved it, it now says 18.
18.
You can re-roll.
Okay. Okay, that's an 18.
There
So
we go.
23.
Great, yeah. People, you managed to convince like a lot of people to actually show up, go vote. You know, a lot of people were like, "It's just a special election. It doesn't matter that
Go
much."
vote.
But okay, we'll go vote, and they hurry off. You
Mix
also-
grows like 2 inches.
You also do notice there's a lot of talk about what happened yesterday. And in fact, at one point, as you're like, go vote, somebody's like, you're one of the people that fought the dragon yesterday.
Oh shit!
Yeah. You should go vote for Janara, who also saved everyone from the dragon. And then Nyx just takes off with the, like, vote the hero into office.
Yeah, great, excellent. Awesome. Anybody else have anything that they're doing today before Janara's party? Yeah.
Is this a work day?
It sure is.
Bowman's going to work.
Bowman, you show up to work at the bar, to start moving barrels, and your boss is like, "What are you doing here?"
My job. I didn't get fired today. I know I have some tardies, but
No, but you fought a freaking dragon yesterday.
oh yeah, but these boxes need to be moved.
Somebody else can move them. Take the day off.
What's that? What's a day off?
It's a day where you relax and recover from the fact that you were still burnt in several places. I can see char marks on you.
Okay. Well, if I can clean up and come back later.
No, just go home. I won't dock your pay. Just go take a day off.
Okay.
This is Bowman's worst day ever.
Go. You sure I'm not gonna get fired?
You won't get fired.
Okay, but that's really funny because I just fought a fire-breathing dragon, who ironically was my old boss.
Wow.
That sounded
Well,
like a-
That's another story.
that has earned you a shot, and he pours you a shot, sets it down. Drink that, then leave and take the day off.
Thanks, Charlie. I think that was his name. Charles.
Sounds right. I don't want to dig through my notes.
Fair.
Yep, Charles.
Nice. Yeah, you take the shot, and then
I go back. I do also want to just, because I got some money now from the bank. Could I?
Oh
just,
yes,
Yeah.
hold
How much money?
real quick, just to make it nice and easy for us between what Bowman grabbed separately, what Artemis grabbed separately, and what you all grabbed from the hoard of money under the bank. You can all go ahead and add 10,000 talents to your character sheets.
Yeah.
Wait, I already added the money that Bowman gave me.
Yeah.
Is
So
this
just
in
add.
addition?
It's in addition to that.
Yeah, add 7,500.
Or in addition.
We're just gonna say everybody gets 10,000 all around, just to make it easy, because you plundered that hoard. Amos didn't stop you, so
Damn, you should have.
When I put that number in on D&D Beyond, you can't see the 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, I accidentally put him in the platinum spot.
Yeah.
whoops.
Oops.
Because Bowman has a bit of extra money, he wants to find someone that can just completely and utterly fix his boat and just get it ready.
Yeah, easy enough to do. Yeah, you go find somebody who who does sort of boat repairs and stuff down at the docks. They come over, they spend some time appraising your boat. They say, God, you must have bought this boat on the cheap.
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's barely floating.
I mean, if you just take the bucket and fill up the water, it's fine. But that's why I'm hiring you. Like,
yeah,
just,
these repairs are going to be pretty extensive. Would you like me to get it like just like seaworthy, or would you like me to really spruce it up for you?
I would like it so if I needed to go through the icy tundra, I could.
Okay. Well, you know, ice boats, that's a whole like different.
I'm just saying, can you
Okay.
fix it as basically brand new?
Okay, yes, I can spruce it up for you.
Thank
That's gonna be let's call it 750 talents.
I'll give you 1,000 if you get it done in a week.
Yeah, 1,000 sounds great. Yeah, I'll have it done by the end of the 10-day.
Thank you. And your name was
Daryl.
Daryl. Nice working with you, Daryl.
Yeah, same, thank you. Daryl gets to work.
Daryl
That's it.
sounds like he's related to my cook.
Great. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to do for Janara's party?
Artemis is very carefully, very gingerly, as dawn is starting to approach, remove himself from Rose Wilmington's bed. Kidding.
Absolutely.
No.
Oh
Nothing.
my
Absolutely
Rose
not.
Wilmington would come back for seconds.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't have anything.
Great. Well, with that, the day passes by. Eventually, you've all been invited to Janara's get together this evening. So eventually you all make your way there early in the evening. Visitors start arriving. Herb Davis is there, of course. The entirety of the Last Adventurers are there. Rose Wilmington is there. Basically everybody that was helping out over the last couple weeks is there. So, Freedom, Rose, Velocial, Mavrius, Sanctuary comes as well. Just a smattering of a few other people come in. Amos is there as well eventually. All of Janara's campaign staff, including, of course, her chief of security, Brian. And the party gets started. There's food, there's drinks, there's music, and you're just sort of waiting for final polling numbers to come in. Obviously, the official count on the vote won't be completed until tomorrow, probably, but there's a fairly decent likelihood that enough information will be known tonight in order to declare either victory or concession. So, everybody sort of starts arriving at the party, mingling, all that good stuff. A couple hours pass. And it's a pretty good time. There is a little bit, there is a little bit of sort of a somber feeling in the air. Like everybody's trying to stay a little distracted, but also throughout the day, more information has come in over the destruction of the castle ward. It's not great. Millions of talents worth of property damage, but worse. The death count right now sits at 50. And the number is likely to grow. All things considered, could have been much worse, but it's still sad that 50 people at least perished in the fires.
It's not. Oh my gosh, all my people still live, right? Is Danny? How's his family?
They're alive. They're fine.
Good. And my cook?
Yeah, he's alive too.
All right. Good.
He suffered an unfortunate accident, actually.
He's
In the
alive,
middle of
but
the
he's
night,
no longer
Artemis
cooked.
grabbed him and threw him into the fires. Great. So the night goes on like this. Eventually, word does come back that numbers are trending towards Janara having a decisive victory in the election.
Play an upbeat tune.
Artemis plays a little ditty. Janara, you get up and give your speech. You don't actually have to give a speech right now, but what's the general vibe of this speech?
I think I'm mostly going to focus on thanking those who helped me get to this point. I think I'm feeling fairly distracted by the fact that the death count is higher than we were hoping it would be. So I'm trying to sort of put on a happy face and focus on the people who helped me get here.
Yeah.
And it's short and sweet.
Great. Awesome.
11 temporary hit points.
Yeah, after your speech, you come down off the stage. Your parents both hug you. And your dad says, we are so proud of you, honey. You saved the city, and now you're in Congress. That's incredible.
I guess so. Yeah.
Or do you think you'll run again in the fall for the general election?
I don't know. I think it's a wait and see situation.
Fair enough. Your mother hugs you again and says, I just can't believe it. You've grown up and you fought difficult battles and you've become such a fine young woman. I mean,
Thanks.
fine as in like excellent, not as in like fine. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Thanks, Mom.
So there's no good time. Yeah, we're leaving again.
I figured. I mean, thank you for staying as long as you did. Isn't there a trial? Aren't you all on trial for?
We're not on trial for anything.
You're not? Okay.
No. No,
Great.
the last adventurers we're leaving, we were actually hired by the new Blackstaff to hunt down a red dragon.
The red dragon? Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So you're gonna stay in touch with me?
Yes.
So I know that you're not dead.
Yes, we will make sure to stay in touch. He has kind of vanished. No one, like, we expected some reports from the countryside of Fear Kindler, unleashing his anger. The army was put on high alert for that reason, but nothing. So anyway, we've been asked to hunt him down and either bring him to justice or bring him to an end.
I'm good either way.
We're leaving in the morning, so we'll stay and enjoy the rest of the party.
Okay.
Wanted you to know.
Okay.
They give you another hug. Octavia, you and your mom are sort of off to the side enjoying the party, and the two of you are approached by Anus, who comes up to the two of you and says, thank you, both of you, for everything you've done recently. I was thinking recently, given that we are dissolving the Watchful Order and trying to decide on something new, something different, instead, I was wondering if the two of you would be willing to help me bring that about. I need good wizards that I can trust on my side. And I can't think of two finer wizards to help me with that than the two of you. I know you have a job at the Waterdeep Times, and I'm asking you to either split your time or leave the Times. So I apologize, but and you don't have to give me an answer right this second, but I thought I'd ask.
Well,
What do you think? Octavia asks Lucille.
No, I fought against the Watchful Order for a very long time. Was part of them for a very long time. Mr. Durant, as long as what you're proposing is not meant to punish people who are just living their lives, tapping into magic, then I would be happy to help you build whatever replaces the Watchful. Thank
Me
you.
too.
Thank you.
And I think I would want to take this on full time. It seems you'll need the help.
Yes, I expect I will. Thank you.
Thank you for the offer.
Of course.
I hope we can build something that helps this city.
Me too. Me too. Great. Is anyone?
I would like to go find Penny.
Yeah. Yeah, you find her.
Hi, Penny. I don't know what your plans are for the future, but I'm going to be leaving the Waterdeep Times, and I think that you would make an excellent editor.
Oh.
So,
Are you an editor?
kind of. I'm supervisor, head writer.
You're a supervisor?
I think so.
Is
I don't remember.
wow.
Nepotism.
Wow, I
really hard
forgot.
to
I
do.
forgot about that, you know? I forgot about titles.
Yeah. So I think if you're interested in taking over that role, I could put in a recommendation with my father. I think you'd be excellent there.
That, yes, would be great. I'm actually gonna go on a little bit of a leave, though, for like a year.
Sure.
So I'm not gonna be there. But if you never come back to the Times and they still need an editor in a year, 100% give me a recommendation.
Sounds good.
Not that I need it, because I feel like your dad loves me.
He definitely does.
He did give me that raise one time when he was drunk, and then never took it back because he forgot about it. I shouldn't have said that. Oh my God, I shouldn't have brought up alcoholism. I forgot that was a short-lived dark period in Pierre's life. Anyways, why are you leaving where are you going?
Amos and my mother and I are gonna rebuild the Watchful Order, but much, much nicer, to actually help people, not to punish the citizens for just existing.
Okay. How funny that happened that way. Remember when we were trying to like kill the Black Staff and now the Black Staff is asking us for help? Very weird how that works.
Well, different person, so
Yeah, for sure. I definitely don't have fears that he's gonna turn evil and try to kill me. I definitely don't think about that. Anyways,
Don't
congrats.
worry.
That's so great.
Don't worry, I'll be right there and working pretty closely with him. So hopefully,
And you will not be mind flared, and we're gonna lose you forever. But that's okay. That's not gonna happen. I don't have any fear.
No.
Yes, great. Janara, how great is that?
It's incredible. I'm so
that's
proud
great.
of her.
Yeah.
Great. Is anybody else doing anything in particular during the party?
Promoting myself
Sure.
As
when
usual.
appropriate.
Yeah,
You know, Janara's the big kahuna, but
sure. Absolutely.
then it can be me.
Absolutely. Yeah, you start, you put in a good word for yourself every chance that you get. Eventually, you're finishing up talking to a couple of people all about you. And you turn and Rose Wilmington is standing right there like,
Hi there. Gotta
yeah,
do a bit of branding.
this all tracks. This all tracks.
Well, I mean, it would be a missed opportunity not to, really.
Sure. Of course. Hey, I want to congratulate you on saving the city from a dragon, and actually, I really don't want you to take what I'm about to say the wrong way.
I will.
Do not take it the wrong way. Okay? I have moved on past you.
Ouch.
But your actions finally lived up to the grand expectations I had for you when we first met.
Oh, well,
So
thank you. Clearly it was you that saw them first. Everyone else just hadn't seen it yet.
sure.
But
let's
you
put it
also did a lot of good yesterday, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, didn't end up paying off that much. Still lost a lot of people,
Could have been more if you hadn't been there.
I suppose.
I mean, there's always going to be bad things that happen. And I don't know, maybe it's the job of people like us to help them forget, help them survive it all.
Well, cheers to that, I guess. But job well done is all I wanted to say, and I'm glad that I know you.
Very much likewise.
Great. Anybody else have anything they're doing during the party?
Drinking.
Congratulating Janara over and over again because I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that I've already congratulated her.
Yeah, sure. Nix, you had something?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Are there party favors?
sure.
Now,
You
since
steal from your friend.
Nix is at a party with people that she knows and likes, and so she is not going to steal from people, but she's bored. So I'm going to take the party favors, and I'm going to see how many party favors I can distribute into people's pockets without them noticing.
All right, make a sleight of hand check.
Non-natural 20.
Yeah, you're able to distribute like a lot without getting caught. Like, I think there's one person who notices that you try to like slip it into their pocket. But other than that, you managed to distribute basically all of the party favors without anyone noticing.
That campaign manager is going to be pissed.
Yep. Great. Eventually, the night starts winding down. People are leaving for the night. At one point, Khadijah's like, "Where'd all the party favors go?" And then a bunch of people are like, "Oh, I already have one. I don't know how I got it, but eventually it's
A crazy night.
yeah, a crazy night. Eventually the night winds down, eventually leaving just the six of you alone. at the end of the party.
Wow, guys.
Wow.
Who should I turn someone into?
Not me. You already did me.
All right. Who? Your choice then. Who should I turn into something?
Oh God.
I feel like you should turn. Oh my gosh, this is a lot of pressure. This is why I don't do
All right, moving on to
magic.
someone else.
No!
Janara, you're the person of the hour. Who should I turn someone?
Can you turn yourself into something?
Yeah.
No, it was just another Tyrannosaurus that appeared in the graveyard.
Oh, you should turn yourself into a frog. Or a lizard. Or a
A
cat. Or an
frog.
owl.
Penny Presswell, are you trying to kiss me?
Absolutely not. Cat, owl, shark. I'd love to see a shark, but you'd probably die because of the water
Oh,
situation.
probably. I'll turn into a little Tressum for a bit. I don't know if I can. A little cat with wings.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
I'll fly around everyone, meowing very irritatingly.
Rose Wilmington's favorite animal.
Yeah.
Guys, you know what I think I need at this point?
What?
I think I need a vacation.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take my family camping.
My
Camping.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we've heard a lot about that forest place.
That's
I
true.
want to go check it out.
Yeah. Don't tell Artemis when you're going because he will crash it if you do.
Oh, I know. I kind of chose this spot like right now to mention it because he can't respond.
I'm doing cartwheels in the air, chasing my own tail.
You know, he's a lot more easy to deal with in this form.
Yeah.
This is true.
But I like him in his other form.
Aww.
The T-Rex, though, man,
That was pretty cool.
I hated that. That was very scary.
amazing.
At least he was on our side.
So, in tandem,
Yeah, is that a permanent thing?
who voted on that one?
Well, it's been printed in all of the papers, so I think we're kind of stuck with it.
Listen, we needed a name.
Did we?
And so we did in tandem. I never even got to weigh in on the name situation.
I mean, sentimentally, it sounds great. I mean, all together, that, you know, alongside each other, that makes sense. But
Mm.
in
Why'd the
tandem-
apostrophe though?
Poof, I'm back to Artemis. Because it's cool. There's a whole mysterious factor about it, right? It's play on the word being in tandem, in, and then there's the apostrophe. It's the
But what's the
short, it's cool, it's hip.
Is it?
We're all in this together.
It
Did you
doesn't
have,
That's
really-
the dance from High School Musical.
Oh my god.
What was that?
I think he.
Inspirational moment.
Well, though, we don't really need the group name anymore, though.
Yeah. I
Because
think
What do you
we're-
mean?
Dragon's dead. We
I
did
think-
it. We fixed Waterdeep.
I
It's
think, yeah.
fixed.
I think we're out of a job.
We haven't been contacted by Freedom. We did everything that they've asked us to do. Now we just be regular people again.
Yeah.
Okay. Regular people again.
What do you mean? We were regular
Well-
people before.
The whole city knows us. I mean, I
I have
practically got
never
fired
been
today because of at my job.
What?
That's discrimination.
Well, the boss said, "Hey, you had a hard day yesterday. Why don't you go home?" Which we all know what that means.
Okay, yeah.
That you have a good boss.
No,
And you didn't come hang out with me?
I was fixing my boat.
All right.
I mean, that
Well, next
code
time.
does need a lot of work.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's weird that we don't have anything to go do or prepare for
Yeah.
or a
Well,
meeting with Freedom.
Do you want to
or
start a
lives
band?
in danger.
no, I
No.
have a new job that I have to go do.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
I'll be working with the black staff and my mother.
She's
Well,
got a
that would be
cushy
interesting.
government job now.
And Janara, I'm sure, has plenty to do starting tomorrow.
Starting tomorrow.
Hey, Janara,
Yeah,
am I still on your staff?
I think so.
Do I get
Have
a
you
pension?
quit?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit. Speaking of that, I can't work for you anymore, Janara.
Do I get a pension?
I think so.
Nick's just like a tear trickles down her eye.
We can do things. We can find things, right? There's always hoodlums and criminals and
Just gonna
and,
beat
and
up on people?
Isn't that what the police is for?
But no, but we do our thing.
Artemis, don't
we?
you have a business to run?
Yeah, you sell the wine. You're the wine guy.
I can multitask. That's not fun though.
We can.
You guys are fun.
Well, don't you want to work on your music career?
I've been.
Wait,
I've not heard
hang
all
on,
of the
what about
songs
your-
I sung you.
What about your soaps?
Well, yes,
a
but
little
that's
about
just for us. You want a music career for the whole world to see. You obviously have the talent.
Well, I have been thinking about that actually. I was hoping to discuss it with some of you, but if we're not going to start a band, then.
When was band ever on the table?
Well, I was going to put it on the table, but then you
Okay,
were like,
I'm taking
no.
it off of the table. The table is now on
Exactly.
the ground.
You and I know each other so well, Miss Presswell.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Wait,
Vacation
so-
sounds really good, actually. I'm totally with Nix on that one.
Where are you going?
But wait, hang on. Does this mean that we're not going to hang out anymore? Like, do we need to fight things to see each other?
We need a bat signal.
That's
No, why don't we just schedule a dinner every 10-day or so?
a dinner in tandem does dinner. Are we a dinner people now?
Anyone can be a dinner person if
A
they try.
potluck.
My God, are we
Potluck.
gonna do brunch and go to each other's baby showers and then like 10 years from now have a reunion and we're gonna be, oh my God, this sounds like a nightmare.
Potluck is a better
that
type of
sounds
dinner,
wonderful.
but
Bowman's in. I'm in.
Well,
I have to
wanna-
put my cook to use so people can come to my place.
are you gonna dock his pay ever?
I'm working on it.
Can't at this point.
It's a little too long.
He has a family.
ha-
He's a person.
We all are.
Yeah.
Artemis, how's Gamma?
Yeah.
throughout
You know,
all
when I
this?
left, they were a bit confused. I had to explain kind of the premise of, the whole situation in the city. Took some doing, but I'm hoping to resolve that pretty soon. I don't want to keep them, stuck in my house.
Well, I know that Freedom was working on something
Oh,
with that, so
right. Maybe she'll be in contact with me.
well, regardless of where we all end up in the next few days, weeks, months, years, it's been great working with all of you. Some would say fun.
My door's always open.
If I don't get holiday cards from every single one of you, that includes you, Mr. Bowman,
What's
I'm
the
gonna hunt you all
holiday
down.
card?
At the holidays, you send a card that says what you're doing, way too much information about yourself, and where you can be contacted.
I don't
That's a
think you
holiday
know
card.
me very well at all.
And
don't-
I'm
I-
going to ask this of you all the same.
Okay, Artemis.
Great. With that, we will zoom out of this scene as you all plan on your future regular get-togethers.
This is so sad
Uh,
because how often does that actually pan out for
I
friends?
know.
So we'll zoom out from there and move into a bit of an extended period of downtime so that we can see where each of your characters go next. So, we move into sort of this post-campaign time period. We'll kind of go through what everyone does next. But just as a quick update on the city of Waterdeep itself, over the next few weeks, several things happen. First of all, over the next several weeks, the Waterdeep Times publishes a series of major articles and exposés by Octavia and Penny, detailing everything they learned about the Watchful Order, as well as their connections to a criminal conspiracy that involved many of the captains of industry of the city, including the dragon Faerun, and also corruption permeating the government through those channels. Now, obviously, in the reporting, neither of you mentioned being directly involved in fighting any of this, except for Faerun, which everybody already knows. But there are, of course, rumors that you were a little bit more involved in all of this than the articles let on. But eventually, after all the articles are published, they are compiled into a book format and released as a book as well to the public, sort of in the same way that you see this sort of thing in journalism a lot. So it's that same type of thing. Speaking of Faerun, of course, his attack caused huge damage to the castle ward and some damage to the terrace ward. And it takes many days for the flames to stop smoldering in the ruins. But eventually they managed to put out all the fires and begin the long process of rebuilding. The total death count wound up being 63, quite high, but without your intervention, it could have been much worse, because it was discovered during some of the investigation after the fact that the explosive control panels that you all found underneath the bank connected to major caches of explosives in many different places of the city.
Oh my god.
If Faerun's plan had gone the way he wanted it to, the destruction would have been much more widespread than it ended up being.
Didn't you say that you made a clock and we almost?
Yes, I was keeping track of how long it was taking you all to go through the bank. Yes, but you managed to stop that from happening. So while there was a lot of damage, a lot of lives lost, it could have been much, much, much worse. So you all did very well there. And you see that over the next several weeks, the city of Waterdeep really comes together in the face of this tragedy. And they really work together to rebuild the city better than ever before. So with that little taste of the future of the city of Waterdeep, we'll go into what each of your characters does next over the next 6 or so months. And I thought it would be fun to do it in the same order that we did your character introductions way back at the beginning of the campaign. So first up for the downtime is Artemis. So Artemis, what did the next several months look like for you?
Ooh, first of all, Artemis is very aware that there is a dragon that is out there, even though the last adventurers are going after it. But there are 2 dragons out there. On top of, his whole brother issue. He is going to, Amos Durant isn't doing anything else, but he is going to ask for his help a little bit and work on improving his mandolin that he worked on a long time ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of time of just sitting with it and staring at his father's chair that he has.
Yeah.
And just kind of seeing what tunes come to mind and just thinking.
Yeah.
But like at the end of everything when Artemis was, oh, we all need to keep hanging out, once there aren't his friends to distract him from things, he kind of becomes a bit of a recluse for a month or so as he just thinks about what he has done, what might be around the corner for him in his life later on.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try and improve this mandolin to make it better.
Great. Yeah, it takes quite a bit of time, but eventually you are able to improve the arcane amplification of your mandolin. So
Nice.
you can go ahead and track that upgrade there.
Yeah. Incredible. Yes. So once that is successful, and the city is a little more rebuilt, begins going around touring the city, just kind of getting a vibe for the people, bringing Danny and Gamma when he can along to just see the world, introduce them, because in a very quiet part of his mind he says, this is not my city, I'm not going to be here forever, and I can't just up and leave these two goons. So eventually, if Freedom doesn't contact me first, we're going to resolve the Gamma issue.
Freedom does get in contact with you, and eventually it takes some time, but Gamma is given protected status as part of a kind of as part of the trial involving Thomas Evenwood.
Nice.
Who is getting off relatively light because of all the assistance he gave the city in bringing Fear Kindling.
Yeah.
But
well, good for Gamma. That's good. So on that note, I'm going to advise that Gamma can stay at my place for as long as he wishes, but a world, the city is his, and if he needs a home base, my house is home base.
I appreciate your I appreciate that. I will, as they say, take you up on that offer.
Wonderful. Oh, here's a key. I took it from the cook. He doesn't need one. The first issue. Danny, I need another key. Give it to the cook, please.
Yeah, he goes
Continually, Artemis does things like that and then instantly feels guilty. But in his month or so of contemplation, he is going to suddenly appear again in the public eye and crank it up to as high as it can. He's going to launch his boy band career as the solo act Boys to Bright Shield. But it is a complete boy band with him and all of his mirror image duplicates harmonizing. And we are going to keep going until we sell out massive venues and promote the name, promote the wine, promote myself, and continue on that thing that he told Rose of the city still needs distracting from. I mean, Artemis's mantra since day one is ignore your pain until you can deal with it with entertainment. Sure. So that is he becomes if he can, he's going to become a pop icon.
Yeah. Artemis becomes like pretty well known in Waterdeep, and the name starts spreading outside of Waterdeep too. But right now, still very focused on Waterdeep, but the name, spreads, and you're playing to packed venues, and you're, getting your songs recorded on phonographs. There are autograph signings. One night you play at the Yawning Portal, and for the first time in a century, the upper balconies actually have people in them. By the way, the Yawning Portal is in the Castle Ward and somehow survived the fire.
Nice.
So this icon of Waterdeep, this bar that has been there for many, many, many centuries, continues to live on.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So your career really takes off now that you're putting sort of a focus on it.
Yeah, we are going to put as much effort into possible into accumulating wealth, because Artemis knows his name. Somehow he felt it was time to stop hiding everything. His name is out there, and he knows eventually word will reach his brother, and who knows what will happen. But in case he gets cut off.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
When you perform at different venues, you should charge per person on stage. So, depending on how many duplicates you have, that's how much you charge.
I love that. If I can get away with that, sure.
Yeah, Nix gives you the suggestion over dinner one week. Oh shit. Yeah. Speaking of your brother, as you are starting to perform, you're dreading the day that you get the letter cutting you off. And it keeps not coming. And in fact, usually every once in a while with your paycheck, Dagrin would send a little note, usually not very long, but just a small note. The money keeps arriving, but you stop getting notes.
Well, that's very suspicious, but I'm not going to do anything about it at first.
Okay.
Probably at the very, very tail end, it will gnaw away at me enough.
Yeah.
That I'm going to start, when I find Bowman, asking him to fight me. When I find Janara, asking her to fight me. If Rose Wilmington comes back into town, asking her to fight me.
Yeah. So do you wait a long time to start trying to do this training, or do you do some training early?
Yeah, the pop career has to come first, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think that towards the end of things, eventually, I'm gonna buy a pretty enough bedazzled mirror, because I always need a mirror, and I'm going to use that to I'm gonna try and scry on my brother.
Okay. That's a wisdom save.
It is. I gotta actually look up what that spell is. Wisdom save. Ooh, there's, if I'm familiar. Okay. First hand if you've met the target. Familiar. If I know the target well, it's a -5 to the save modifier.
Okay. Okay, so that.
Sorry, you originally. Yes, wisdom.
So that is I think that's a 10.
That's a failure.
Okay. So you cast Scry, and you see the image comes into focus. Dagrin is in his study in the family villa, and you see like he's got like piles of books on the desk in front of him and papers, and he's furiously like working on something. From the image that you see, he looks disheveled, like he has possibly let himself go a little bit because he's become very focused on something. He's got a little bit of a scraggly beard. His hair's like longer than he usually lets it grow. And he's like poring over tomes and papers, and you see, there's a handful of small like trinkets also littered about the table, gems and crystals, and there's even like a skull sitting on the table as well as he's like poring over these books.
What's even more worrisome that he's around. Okay. Well, that's going to eat at me for the rest of a long time.
Sure. Great. Is there anything else that Artemis is going to be doing during this downtime?
Not specifically. I think now and then he'll open himself up to the silver flame, especially after that.
Yeah.
But no general purpose, just kind of being open, sitting in the chair, staring at the fireplace for a while.
Yeah, you don't really hear from the silver flame. Usually when the silver flame speaks to you, it's in your dreams, but you haven't heard from the silver flame in a little while. You know that it's still there and it's still paying attention to you, but it's not speaking to you right now.
Yeah.
And you don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. I'm going to wear the sword publicly.
Okay.
That's the last thing.
Great.
That's part of the show.
Yeah, you catch some attention but you're a pop star, so they do weird shit all the time.
Yeah. And that's already be.
Great. Octavia, you're up next. What's next for you?
Mostly just helping rebuild the Watchful Order in a more positive way, and spending more time with Velociel, trying to get to know her a little bit better. Probably just spending more time with my father in general too. Because family seems really important to Octavia right now.
Sure. Makes sense. The new organization that you and your mom help Amos to create, Amos sort of went back and looked at the original full name of the Watchful Order, which was the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors, and decided that the new organization should draw on a different part of the name. And so the new organization is now called the Guild of Magists. And working with you and your mother, the new organization is primarily now a willing association of mages from all social classes, and serves primarily to provide a support network for all magic users. So services focus on making magical education easier to access. It focuses on making sure that people know how to use magic responsibly. It focuses on making sure that anybody who wants to get a magic license can get a magic license. They are no longer charged exorbitant amounts. It's free to get a magic license. You still have to pass a test, but it's free. And of course, the Guild of Magists provides seminars and training programs to help prepare you to take the test. And then, sort of in the event of a magical emergency threatening the city, guild members, people who sign up to join the guild will volunteer their services to help defend the city from a major magical threat, like, say, a dragon. But the Guild of Magists no longer focuses on punishing people for not having a magic license, no longer focuses on building a secret army of mind flayer controlled people, or anything like that. So big improvements there. The other thing, you're spending a lot of time with your family. Eventually, your mother had been staying in the guest room in the family house for a while, as she sort of tried to get back on her feet. But eventually she gets an apartment, a nice apartment, but she gets an apartment. So you're helping her move in one day and, pack boxes away and stuff. And as you're finishing up, she says, "Thank you for both for helping me move, but also for, everything. When you were born, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but the moment you were born, I loved you more than anything else in the world. And it was really painful for me to give you up when you were so young, but I knew you stood a better chance of having a good life with your father than you did with me, with where I was and what I was doing at that time. And I'm so proud of the woman that you've become."
Thank you. And I'm really glad that we were able to save you. Luckily, we probably have a lot of time left, being elven descent and all.
I look forward to it. I do. I love you.
I love you too.
Great. Do you have anything else that you want to do during your downtime?
Probably spend some time, like, aside from preparing the new mages, the Mages Guild thing. Also work with Amos when he is available, to just study under him more directly as a
Sure.
mentor mentee sort of thing, hopefully, if he's cool with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's happy to, show you, give you pointers and, help you, help you, help you improve your magical skills and such. Great.
Cool.
Well, then next up is Penny.
I was typing in the Zoom chat.
Wow, way to break the fourth wall.
I'm sorry. We have a Zoom chat and we're constantly going off on it because we can't talk in front of Ben because they'll distract him. Anyways, okay, Penny. So, first of all, She's going to go to the Waterdeep Times and she's going to ask for a leave of absence for like a year, hopefully, just so that she can kind of refocus, reground,
Yeah.
reflect.
Pierre, as soon as you come into the office, is like, well, I hate to lose my best reporter, especially now that Octavia also left, but for a job well done, permission granted.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be back. I swear to God, you cannot get rid of me. But I need time.
I understand.
Thanks. Once she's done with the Times, she's gonna spend like the first month just cleaning up the house, like cleaning out things, going through her mom's old stuff, trying to figure out what can be parted with, what they can keep, working on the garden, making sure that's looking nice again because that was important to her mom. And just like getting it basically looking more so how it did when everyone was still in the house together. And then she'll kind of have her dad come back once she's positive it's safe for him to come back.
Yeah. You bring your father home. Your brothers also come over. Upon seeing the house, he is stunned for a moment, but then he gives you a hug. And he says, I'm sorry. I read about everything that you did for the city. Then I also read your reports on the Watchful Order, and you were right. There were dangers to me and to you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I was so difficult.
It's the Presswell nature.
Yes, well, I don't know if I will be able to apologize the second time for that, but hopefully the once is enough.
I wouldn't expect you to. And you don't need to. I should be sorry. I should have told you guys or been way less vague. I think I probably could have done a lot better job with that. I was just nervous and had a lot on my plate. And I'm also, I'm sorry too. And that will also be the last time I tell you that I'm sorry. So we can both just forget about it and move on and focus on just living.
Great. Well, what's next for you? You're a famous reporter now, just like you've always wanted.
Yes. That's so funny that you say that, actually. So I left the Times just for like a little bit, just for like a year, tops, maybe more, depending on what happens. But I mean, like, so happy for the opportunity to be a reporter. Like, I had some great times there, also some really awful times. But I think it would be great if I could just not be expected to do anything and have any responsibilities. I think that would be really awesome. So I'm just gonna leave, not far away. I'm gonna come back on like the weekends and stuff and make sure that you're okay and that the twins are okay and that, hang out, have family dinners and whatever we want to do. But I think I'm just gonna kind of explore and journal and maybe find myself. I don't know. That's still on the table, but yeah.
Well, whatever you do, Penny, I'm sure I hope you find what you're looking for, and I'll try to be better about being there for you.
Okay. I think that sounds good.
Great. After your sort of family reunion, what is next? What is
So she'll probably stay with her dad for like another month, try to get him a hobby or a part-time job so that he's not
Oh,
just
you needn't worry about that. He still has regular card nights to go to.
Jesus Christ. The first thing he did when he came back to Waterdeep was like, Bowman, my boy.
Cards with the boys.
Bowman appears out of a trash can.
Yeah.
Hello. Peter Pressel's first night home. Darnick, a stew, then snack. Everybody
The
just
boys
shows
are
up.
back.
Yeah.
As much as Penny, like, it gives her the ick, she's very, very happy that he has a group of people that he can spend time with. And that is, he's kind of moving on from the.
Oh, actually, Penny, I would also like you to make a quick perception check for me on something.
No.
Yes.
Watchful orders in my house again. This has all been a dream. Perception 17.
So, like, it's clear that your father is a little embarrassed by it and doesn't want you to know, but one day you walk into the house and he is playing Artemis's music on the phonograph.
This is all I've ever wanted.
I imagine that like like he turns around and sees me and I just look at him and he looks at me and then he just turns it off and I just go upstairs and we never speak of it again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
he goes, "That's smut in my house."
After
Um,
all I did for you.
yeah. But after she's sure that her dad's good and that the house is good and she's triple double checked that the dragon is literally gone and that wasn't just a fever dream that she had, she's just gonna kind of explore. I mean, it's gonna start like just kind of like wandering around the city, going to places she hasn't gone before. Then it'll be kind of, staying in like hotels or, camping or crypt garden and then it's gonna start to go, like get on a boat and go somewhere, go outside the city limits. And she's just gonna like kind of like she'll spend like Monday through or whatever the 10-day days are, but she'll spend like normal weekdays, like just kind of like out journaling, people watching, discovering nature, just like I think that Penny feels like she's had a lot of anger and a lot of fear, and she just kind of wants to recenter herself and try to like get to the root of why she feels this way. And like
Yeah, as you sort of explore, the times you spend out in nature are obviously calming and nature-y. You surprisingly enjoy the camping. As you sort of visit other towns and cities and stuff, you see some of what was happening in Waterdeep is happening pretty much everywhere. Not exactly the same. Not an ancient red dragon or a order of mages controlled by somebody who has a elderbrain tadpole embedded in their head. But you do see, there is vast inequality. There's, wealth disparity. There are other oppressive forces. Some of the places that you visit, the right to vote is still locked behind making a certain amount of money. Or some places it's not. Some places preceded Waterdeep in loosening voting laws, but some places it's still pretty strict. But you also see, growing protests amongst the poor. You see people sort of galvanized to stand up against the injustice that they're facing. And some of this has, you knew like somewhere, you've read about it, that this had been happening for, a while to a certain degree, but it seems like it has gained new energy. And it's hard to say for sure, but you can't help but think that in Tandem's actions in Waterdeep may have helped pave the way for, frankly, a socio-political reckoning that's happening all across the Sword Coast Federation. I don't know if that helps Penny find peace or not, but
maybe yes and no.
sure.
That's basically all she does. She'll
Great.
mostly not really be in contact with anyone just because she's, vibing alone
Yeah.
and focusing on family. But she'll definitely send letters to Octavia like every 10 days to ask her how she's doing, tell her that she misses being in her office and annoying her and hoping that she's well.
Nyx.
Nyx is in her prime. She is working closely with Janara's team. She is also continuing to work with the EPA. And this time, instead of fighting for the right to vote, they have switched their focus to getting people registered to vote and getting information out about how to vote, how to be an informed voter, where people should be going in order to vote when it comes time. And so they're doing lots of like education programs and like get out the vote drive type events. I'm also spending a lot of time with the like section of the EPA that was more focused on getting people educated in order to get the right to vote. Now that's like there isn't as much of a split as there once was, and we're just all trying to expand access to education, so limiting child labor, running like adult night education classes, because now everybody can vote, and so everybody should have an idea of what they're voting for, how to find out what they're voting for, what people stand for, because a lot of adults don't know how to read, or they only know how to read very basic things, making sure everybody can sign their name, all that kind of stuff. But she's also making a lot of connections in the political world. Nyx doesn't think that she wants to be a politician, but she does really like what she's doing, and it is growing on her, but she doesn't think she'd ever want to run for office. She likes being in the background. She does so with all of the busyness, she goes per diem at sanctuaries because she still wants to get her like tinkering fix, but she doesn't need to be there every single day. She goes on vacation with her family to Crypt Garden. They have a lovely little time.
Yeah, real quick, let me
Yes.
check something when you're going to Crypt Garden. Just so happens it's at the same time that Penny is there, and
Wonderful. We meet up.
coincidentally you run into each other on a trail one day.
Oh my god!
Is this real?
It is. How did we not communicate that we're gonna? Did you know you were gonna be here? Because I know you've been doing this whole like finding yourself thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of random where I end up, honestly. I'm not trying to think too much in on it. Are all of the Lefties here?
Sure are.
Yeah, you eventually, the rest of the Lefreys like come up the little trail. You see all of them.
Oh my gosh. You probably don't remember me. I stood
Nyx-
outside your house one time.
Nyx's mom is like, yes, I think I gave all of your friends, Nyx. I think I gave all of them jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Did you like it?
I did like it. Not as much as Bowman did, because he was like really into that jam. But it was really good. Anyways,
Good.
Nyx,
I'm
how are
glad.
you?
I'm honestly great. Like, it's been. I like what I'm doing.
Nice.
I really like what I'm doing. What about you? Have you found yourself yet?
No, it's impossible, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got like, well, you're a human. You've got time.
Every day I remember I have less and less of it, but it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, you're young. You're young.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
You're human. You've got.
Nyx is like doing math in her head.
He's like slowly realizing that I'm gonna die first out of everyone in the group.
Yep. But hey, if you find yourself back in Waterdeep during the week, because I know you and you don't, or
I'll stop by.
yes,
Stop by.
extra time.
Yeah.
We also really got to schedule another one of those dinners that we were talking about.
Yeah, I keep getting Lexa keeps coming to me with the invitations, and I keep just pretending that I can't see her.
Oh, yike. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Fair enough.
But I'll come to the next one. I swear, I'll come to the next one.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, enjoy your hike.
You too.
Great. Anything else for Nyx?
Also, I'm going to work on silencing my revolver because I have not done that yet. So, do I have to make a
Sure.
check?
No,
Okay,
you
cool.
have enough time that you can do it. Great. Okay. Janara, you're up next.
Cool. Shannara is going to spiral a little bit. She knows that what she did was good and more people could have died, but she's taking the fact that 63 people died really, really hard. So she won the election. Starting with the following day, she's going to go in and do her job.
Yeah.
And in the first month or so, she's going to realize pretty quickly that politics might not really be for her. So she's going to really defer to Nyx on a lot of the things, but also just do what she can to introduce members of the EPA to people, try to just at least help foster a good relationship amongst politicians and Nyx's group, so that maybe the next time there's an election, it can go smoother and they can really get what they're hoping to get. And sort of just start the seeds of trying to convince people that she think would be good to, run for office. If Nyx is interested, go all in on Nyx, of course, but if it doesn't seem like Nyx is interested, find out from Nyx who a good person would be and, try to make that happen. So during the day, she's, business as usual. But while she's not at work, she's going to get the list of all 63 people that had passed away, and she's going to cast disguise self on herself, and she's going to try to go to all of their funerals. And try to get some money to all the families without them realizing that it's her.
Yeah, we'll say you can do that. It's a little difficult to, like, some of the funerals, the times conflict with each other, so you have to like sprint from one to the next. But you manage to make it to all the funerals.
Yep. And I can figure out how much money to take out for that, but I'm giving some money to all the families. And she's really going to get into a routine where she goes to work and she tries to sort of act like she has it all together. She's going to spend time going to these funerals. She's going to go home and sleep, and then she's going to wake up in the middle of the night and just continue casting disguise self on herself and just try to basically prowl the streets and try to just keep the city as safe as possible without people knowing that it's her. And really she's always focused on training, but she's really going to focus on being as stealthy as possible.
Okay.
And she's just going to spend like the first half of these 6 months really getting into a routine and doing that and just casting disguise self over and over and over and over again, just not really wanting to be herself, you know?
Sure. And I will say, during some of Janara's like vigilanteism, I'm sure Freedom has the occasional job to throw her way still.
Yeah, which I'll still be doing that. I'll still be doing whatever I can. But yeah, just really trying to sort of get away from myself as much as possible.
Okay.
And she's finally, after, several months of this, she's going to sort of, I think, sort of find a disguise that she really enjoys, and it's going to sort of start being her go-to, and she's really going to almost start enjoying the darkness, like enjoying being at night, enjoy being this other person. And I think as she's like feeling better, she's also going to start like popping up a little bit more in her friends' lives. I think she'll like see that Artemis has these shows, and as her like disguised person that she's like sort of grown to really like, she's gonna like stop by his shows, and sort of like wonder if he could tell that it's me or not. But maybe once in a while also just like drop the disguise self a little bit and like toss a wig and throw it back up.
Would drive him insane.
And I think, after a few months, I also start sending invitations out to see if people want to have dinner at my place, and just sort of feeling like I'm coming out of the other side of it. But this whole time, like in my basement, in my training room, I'm going to have this board with like the 63 names of the people that perished, and just every like piece of information I could possibly find about dragons and Fear Kindler and anything that I think could be useful in the future, just really focused on trying to get as good as this freaking dragon,
Yeah. Yeah. So, as you're sort of going through all of this, a couple of things. So, like, despite kind of detaching from your government stuff. You do end up being a decisive vote in a handful of reform bills, which includes one that Nyx has one of the things that Nyx was working towards, which is limiting child labor. You're unable to, the bill does not abolish it outright, but it is moving in the right direction. Though that frustrates you, you want to just fix it all the way. But unfortunately, the way politics work in Waterdeep, it takes a long time.
Sure.
But you prove a decisive vote in a couple of bills. And yeah, you spend a lot of time doing the vigilante stuff. Freedom sends the occasional job your way. You check in with your parents. They so far haven't found your Kindler. But they're doing okay.
And I'll just keep sending them as I learn things that I think might help. I'll also send it their way, knowing that they're actively working on it too.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll get my magic license because I'm in politics and I'm rich and I don't even have a magic license.
And it's free now.
And it's free now, so I don't feel like a moral ick about it. Sure.
Eventually, several months later, you're training one night, alone, and eventually you feel the warmth in your chest where Hope is. And she says, Jinara, I have something to tell you.
Okay.
And with that, she emerges from your chest, and she's a slightly larger ball of light now. She still isn't able to take a humanoid form, but as she emerges, it's clear that she's much stronger than she was before. And she says, the actions of you and your friends have brought a lot of possibility to this city that wasn't there before. It brought a lot of hope to this city. I know you are upset, and I mourn the lives lost as well. This is a cruel, unjust world, and sometimes people who shouldn't die do, but I don't want you to lose sight of the good that you have done and that you continue to do. And as proof of that, I'm powerful enough to return to my home plane now.
Oh.
And I wouldn't have gotten here if not for the fact that you brought so much more hope to the people of this city. Now, I don't want you to be worried. You and I will always share a connection, and you'll still be able to, we can still contact each other. It might be a little harder, but I'll still check in on you, I promise, and I'll still lend you some of my power. But I've been away from home for a long time.
I'm happy you can get back there.
And I couldn't have done this without you. I really want to stress to you, how much good you have done.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll continue to keep an eye on you. I'll be your guardian angel.
I need one.
Goodbye.
I hope.
And the ball of light floats upward into the sky.
right.
Is there anything else for Janara?
Don't think so.
All right. Bringing up the rear then is Bowman.
So after the victory party at Janara's, the next day, Bowman tries to go to work, but I assume Charles is still being like, you need to take some time off.
He tries again. If Bowman is insistent upon working, he'll say, okay, fine. But
no, I think Bowman's going to just take some time off.
Okay.
I think the realization that he's not going to be working with his friends as much kind of gets to him a little bit, and he is walking through Waterdeep and just wants to. He's decided to stop by one of the pounds.
Okay.
He goes up to whoever's working there and he goes, I am here to inquire on any old unclaimed dogs that you might have that are on the way out.
The person working there shows him behind and says, eventually finds sort of a very old dog. Nobody was adopting him, so we were gonna put him down, but we want to take him. Probably got another year or two. Actually, lucky.
That's a good name for him.
Dog's yours. Lucky.
So Bowman now has a dog. Old, scraggly mutt. Just like Bowman. As a week goes by, Bowman has a lot of time to think as he's walking Lucky at the end of the night, every night. And he starts making plans to get his ship ready to sail.
Yeah.
Eventually, he tries to get the attention of Artemis. I know he's very busy, so.
Yeah, eventually you manage to find Artemis, in a free moment one day. Yeah.
Artemis. Hello, old friend.
And Mr. Bowman. Hold on, let me put something on.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi. I don't want to bother if you're busy. Do you have a moment?
No, never a bother.
I need you to do something for me.
Oh?
Personal request. I know I don't ask much, but if you could deliver a message to the rest of the group.
Sure.
I'm leaving. Listen.
What? What?
I am going to set sail at sunrise. And I don't know if and when I'll come back.
But like for a week, or maybe two, and you'll come back.
Maybe a little more time than that. I'll just
3. All right. I can get along with 3, but anything more than that, I just don't. Why? Can I ask why?
When I came to the city, it was a punishment to myself. Over 10 years ago, I came to live as somebody who I wasn't in the city of the government that destroyed my own home. I was dishonored. Thanks to you and our
co-conspirators, I have honor. I have a reason to be proud.
Well, I'm proud of you for what it matters. You know, you put up with someone that wasn't willing to step in a pile of poop.
Well,
And you didn't kill me, which is very impressive.
and for what it matters, I'm so incredibly proud of you.
Okay.
The amount of grief that you don't tell anyone, even though you don't stop talking, the amount of pressure you hold on your own shoulders, I do see that, Artemis, and I am proud of the man that you are. And that's why I'm having you tell everybody that I'm gone.
Oh, you son of a bitch. All right. Don't cry. Oh. For once in his damn life, he is speechless, and he just gives a huge hug and starts crying into his shoulders.
Bowman embraces this hug.
I was wondering if you want to come to my boat and just drink until sunrise.
Uh-huh. I very much want that.
So Bowman and Artemis, I assume, go to our boat. Bowman introduced Lucky to Artemis.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a very sweet boy. Very
He
good
is.
boy.
Can I ask you something, though?
Yeah.
How do we, if things fall apart, how do we get you back? How do we summon you?
Artemis, you don't need me.
I need you.
Artemis. I would just say you'll figure it out.
All right, that's going to be a lot of annoying messages then.
And I'll treasure every single one of them.
As
I'll
the
have a
night
pocket flask.
Yeah.
as the night comes to a close, Bowman takes out a little piece of fabric that he's had this entire time. That is the Cormyrean flag back before it fell. And with his fellow Cormyrean, he hoists it on the mast. Cormyr becomes a country again. They could just use a rich, loudmouth, talented person to run it someday.
Oh, Mr. Bowman. I'll give you a call.
Good night, Artemis.
I'm going to play the calls of Cormyr on the side.
Yeah, as the dawn comes, Bowman sails off into the sunrise, or like away from the sunrise. It doesn't
It's a
matter.
pretty sky.
It's a pretty sky. And
In some
Artemis
direction in the-
plays, the Cormyrean anthem. Bowman, where are you going?
Bowman is going to go all around the coast.
Yeah.
He's going to eventually make his way back. He did travel to the Waterdeep by boat.
Yeah.
He's going to eventually trace his steps back and
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to find some of his friends that he has left behind.
It's a long trip. You have to go by boat. Ironically enough, it's shorter over land. But you sail down the coast. You stop at the occasional port city, port town. You have to sail pretty far south and then go up a river, and then at the end of the river take a canal the rest of the way before it eventually lets out into the inland sea that Cormyr once was once situated upon. And yeah, you sail for port. Did you have something you?
Well, I know that Bowman talked to Rose and had a predetermined place and time that they wanted to meet up and do a little adventuring together.
Yeah.
As,
We'll say that you do, on your travels, you do meet up with Rose and you travel around for a while together and go on some adventures, and there's some danger and all that. And eventually when you part ways, Rose says to you, well, Bowman, it's been great. Thank you again for everything.
Absolutely, Rose. You are quite the seasoned adventurer.
Thank you. Well, I think my next stop is finally going to be to Candlekeep. I've been wanting to see the world's greatest library for years, so I think it's about time I go visit it.
I've heard it's amazing.
I'll let you know. And then you sail on, and like I said, eventually arrive in the inland sea by formerly Cormyr, and you sail into the port city of Suzail, the port that the Sword Coast Federation ship, the Waterdeep, exploded in and started the war all those years ago. As you disembark, you wander around the city. It's changed quite a bit since you've been gone. It's a little bit, more run down than it used to be, but people still seem like they're getting by okay. And as you're sort of wandering around, looking around, you stop into a tavern that you and some of your old army buddies used to go to when you were in port in the city. And you're just enjoying a drink, and eventually a bronze dragonborn woman comes up next to you at the bar, orders a drink, turns, catches you out of the corner of her eye, turns away, and then does kind of a double take. Say, Mark?
I heard you're a bounty hunter.
Oh my! By the gods, you're alive! And Tech hugs you.
Yeah.
His drinks are on me.
Oh no. Oh, I can buy. Next round's on me, everybody.
Yeah, you sit down with this old war buddy of yours, and she said, I thought you died at the end of the war. What the hell happened to you?
Oh, it is a long story. It started.
I just start retailing.
Yeah, you tell the
story of all of our adventures.
She leans back in her chair. Well, damn. If you need any bounty hunting work, I could use someone who could take on a dragon. I'm just saying.
Well, in the meantime, yes, I did want to ask you one thing, since you've been in town more than I have. Our friend Deco, the one that disappeared.
I I mean, I always assumed he was dead. I haven't seen him since the end of the war, but I thought you were dead, and here you are, so...
Yeah, I think I want to spend some time looking for them. Or that, they, them. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, if I hear anything, I'll send words your way. How do I get in touch with you?
You know, weirdly enough, you're not the first person to ask me that, and I will tell you the same thing. You just gotta get lucky. Or like, speaking of which, here's my dog, Lucky.
Yeah, she enjoys petting Lucky. And then she's like, well, you know, how long are you gonna be in town?
I think I'll probably be in town for like another month or so.
Okay. Well, if you want to stay, you know, we've got some bunks back at our place of operation. We're called the Bronze Lightning Bounty Hunting Company.
Oh, wow. Gotta use your old nicknames, don't you?
What can I say? It works.
It sells. I will happily stay with you, my friend. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you. Where do you like live?
I have a
Still
boat.
live in Waterdeep?
No, I don't live anywhere. That's the thing about being a ghost. Kind of just float around.
All right. Well, enjoy your month with us, Ghost. Yeah, you stay with her for a month. You spend some time looking for Deacle. No signs of him in the month that you look. But eventually, you know, whenever you eventually leave, Ustek promises to, if she hears anything, track you down. And she says, you know, who knows? You were dead, I thought. So maybe Deagle's alive. Never found his body.
Well, keep me in the loop. I'll let you know if I find anything as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I give Ustek a big hug, and then I start sailing back to Waterdeep at the end of this 6 month.
Yeah. Yeah, you eventually arrive back after about, 5 or 6 months away. And, get back into life, visiting Little Cormier, doing your job, occasionally seeing Artemis and the others. But yeah. Anything else for you?
Nope.
Great. Let's check in on, what's happened to some of the NPCs real quick.
What's Brian doing?
Where's Brian?
Brian has continued working as security for Janara when she was still in government. Come the general election, Janara, I assume your intention is not to run again.
Correct.
Unfortunately, Nyx cannot run for your seat because of where she lives. She lives in a different district, technically. But you are able to handpick somebody to run who wins the election. So your seat is still held by a progressive. Brian, after your term in Congress, proceeds to continue working as congressional security. After
Can I go join the Dockside Daggers once I'm out of
God.
Yes,
office?
you can go back to helping Freedom do all that. Goldilocks Rose Wilmington goes on a number of small adventures, some of them with Bowman. She eventually arrives at Candlekeep, but discovers that at Candlekeep, you have to provide a book that is not in their collection to gain access. So she and a small group of other people go out on a small quest to find a book to get them into Candlekeep. And the last anybody heard, she was on her way back to Candlekeep, book in hand, ready to finally gain access to the vast library.
Cool.
Andri, he eventually, perhaps with some help from some of you, or perhaps just on his own, is able to establish a real orphanage and provide the orphans of the city a safe place to live. Daniel, of course, goes on to become a very skilled household servant and is considering getting official training to move into work at some kind of large public venue, doing management. Artemis has some inside knowledge now that can help him with that. Gamma is eventually granted full citizenship rights, and because of his unique nature and talents, he has no trouble finding money because people are just very interested in him. But he remains a member of Artemis's household while he explores the city and meets new people and all that. Pierre Beret continues as the esteemed editor of the Waterdeep Times. Under his tenure, thanks to the journalistic careers and efforts of his daughter and Penny, the paper becomes much more open about having a political stance, and that political stance being advocating for social change and giving more space in the paper to the voices of the poor and downtrodden than it did previously. Philos, yes.
And Nick's get a like every other month
Column.
slot. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick's gonna have a regular column.
Love it.
Philosial still struggles with the 20 years she spent under the thumb of Aurora Araneath, but she does slowly manage to put her life back together. And anytime she doesn't, she's not working with the Guild of Magists, she is spending trying to help others who are affected by Aurora's evil experiments and help them recover. Philosial and Pierre do not get back together. It has been too long. There is too much baggage and drama there, but
He hates true love.
But they remain good friends.
Co-parent.
Peter Sr. Settles into his retirement and grows to love caring for the garden. He also regularly meets up with Bowman, and while Bowman is gone, Bowman's friends for cards. He even sometimes goes to visit Artemis. He never admits it to Penny, but he's gone to a couple of Artemis Bright Shield concerts, and he has purchased every single one of his records.
What?
The Presswell twins are plucked out of the military by the head of security for the Open Lord and are trained to be part of the Open Lord security detail, which keeps them in the city so they can help check on their father. Nix's family continues to live their lives much as they have in the years before. Nix's father, Hog, finds time to get back to a hobby he let drop years ago, woodworking, and he is hard at work making a crib and toys for his first grandchild, who is officially on the way now. Orla is, of course, pregnant, and Orla and Glim are very excited about the arrival of a new Lefri. Nix's mother, Vera, can't help but dote on Orla any chance she gets. And Lily and her wife, Nissa, are also very excited to welcome a nibbling into the family. And they are also considering looking into a child of their own, but they want to wait a little bit longer first. Sanctuary's bar continues to be very successful and becomes even more successful. And he also continues to run the soup kitchen outside of regular bar Darn it, Stu and Vin all have much better luck at their new jobs than they did at their old jobs. And of course, still meet up for cards regularly with Peter Presswell Sr. and Snack and Bowman when he's in town. Snack's magic shop, of course, takes off now that he's able to apply for a legitimate license. Although he can make items without weird quirks now, and he does, he still occasionally makes some with some weird quirks and doesn't tell
Good.
people about them, just to have a little bit of fun. Amos, as the new Black Staff of Waterdeep, Amos is extremely busy on a day-to-day basis and spends much of his time teaching people about magic, working on public relations to try to mend the countless years of bad blood that the Watchful Order built up, and just generally try to make the city a better place for magic users and non-magic users alike. And Freedom. Freedom, of course, continues to do what she's been doing, working from the shadows to fight tyranny. Despite the positive changes she helped kickstart in Waterdeep, the fight against tyranny is, of course, a never-ending struggle. So Freedom's work is never done. The next 6 months to see a lot of changes in Waterdeep. You know, the party's work revealed a lot of corruption at the center of Waterdeep's political and economic order, which causes something of a reckoning across the city and state of Waterdeep. There's a slew of new anti-corruption laws that get passed with basically no political opposition, because of course in a climate where all the citizens can vote, and there was also this huge thing where it was suddenly revealed that there was a ton of corruption, to be seen voting against the anti-corruption bills would be a bad look. Yeah, those bills passed with very little opposition. And some smaller reform laws passed, but like, you know, making more restrictions on child labor, most particularly, but there's still a long way to go in that regard. But with that, there is also a huge increase in unionization across the city. People start organizing for their rights, for workers' rights, for a place at the table. So huge increase in unionization. There's a lot of new strikes that start happening. And yet, you know, so the city's like a very political atmosphere, and people are pretty divided on some of these political things, but also the horror of a dragon attack on the city of Waterdeep at the same time brings people together as well. They're Waterdeep, goddammit, and they can weather any storm. Waterdeep's strong. And the castle ward is rebuilt better than ever. And the opportunity is even taken to introduce some much needed improvements to large parts of the city, including a large electrification campaign into the poorer parts of the city. So that's good. Of course, the general election arrives in the fall. It is a presidential election year, and the city waits with great bated breath to see if their open lord, Lashana Silverhand, will be able to become the next president. It is a close election. Unfortunately, Lashana loses to the incumbent Thaddeus Wolf Jr., who wins a third term in office. Adding to that, the Sword Coast Federation's next capital, because they have a rotating capital, their next capital is Waterdeep. So it's going to be an interesting next 5 or so years for the next term. But despite her loss, Lashana Silverhand is not deterred with how close the election was, with the air of change sweeping across the Sword Coast Federation. She has already vowed to run again in the next presidential election. And the new year comes in. It is now 2000 DR. And
Y2K.
Waterdeep stands as a very different city. There's still a long way to go, clearly. But the people in the city have hope for the future in a way that many of them have not had in a very long time. Artemis. Shortly after the new year, you have a dream. You're standing in front of the silver flame again. As always, sort of, billowing in front of you. Except, what's weird about this one is there's a small radius around the flame that is clear. That is keeping, the flame's light seems to be keeping a wall of thick mist at bay. The voice of the silver flame says, "Something is happening. Your brother, he's doing something. He's doing something. You must hurry back to his estate." And the flame flickers out and the mist rushes in, and you sit bolt upright in bed, drenched in sweat. What do you do?
I grab the sword. I get dressed in all the same armor that I haven't worn
Yeah.
in the same way. Get a big hat. Gonna open up the door and call down, "Danny?
Yeah.
I'm going to be out for a while.
Okay.
Take care of the house.
You got it, boss.
And I'm gonna go get my friends."
Okay. You gather up your friends. It takes some time, but you do manage to get the gang back together again. And you set out for the Bright Shield Villa. As you arrive, as you're sort of walking up the hill past the vineyard, the house is a large villa on a hill. As you're approaching, you can already tell something's wrong. It's quiet. There's nobody working the fields. There's nobody at the gatehouse. As you sort of approach the front door, it's open. And there's no lights on inside.
Eyes up, everyone. I'm gonna draw the sword, get a light source.
Yeah. As you go inside, you start searching the house. Make an investigation check for me.
Oh, geez, rolling things. Oh, I'm gonna keep an eye out for my mother.
Yeah.
Who's allegedly here.
Yeah.
She better be here. Well, he's not doing too well.
Luck.
Did you say luck?
Yeah.
Or disadvantage.
Thank God.
Maybe also just be-
That's why we keep my
Yeah.
friends around.
Oh.
Well, that will be a natural 20 plus 5.
Okay. So as you sort of
Thank you.
explore, you make your way into the dining room. This wouldn't require any check to notice. All the chairs and tables have been pushed aside to really open up the room. But with your investigation check, you see that though the floor has been cleaned, you can see there's a few spots that were missed with some dried blood. You see little hints of chalk dust on the floor. All sorts of weird stuff. As you're continuing to search, there's going to be another thing that you find shortly. But as you continue to search, Penny, you're the first one to hear this. You hear somebody come in through the front door and call, and eventually, a few moments after that, you all hear somebody call out, "Hello? Who goes there?
We're gonna pull the weapons and approach them.
Yeah, as you pull your weapons, coming to the door is the person who usually works the gatehouse. Who hold on, I have the name. William. Sorry, he's not the gatehouse person, he's the groundskeeper. William comes into the room. He's like, oh, Master Artemis, you got my letter quicker than I expected you to.
Letter?
I sent one off. I wouldn't have expected it to reach Waterdeep already, but...
Call it intuition. It didn't. What's happening here?
Terrible, terrible mess, sir. Terrible mess. I was...
Where is Dagrin?
He's gone. I was off property one night. I was, getting a drink in town. And as I was coming back, there was a horrible, mist rolled in. When I got back to the house, your brother was nowhere to be seen, nor was your mother, but there were there was a scene in this room, grotesque. I was lucky I was off property. It was all the household staff. They had been...
It's all right.
Anyway, I contacted the authorities and they came and searched and they couldn't find anything. And they, they took the bodies. They're looking for your brother. He's the suspect in a horrific murder. But I don't think they'll find him.
Why? Do you know where he is?
It's just an old legend. I didn't believe it until that night. I've heard the old stories from traveling troops of Vistani. Your brother, he's been swept off to Ravenloft, mark my words. As you continue to look around, you find you remember that there's a place that the police probably wouldn't have thought to check, because it's not widely known that there is a loose floorboard in here. But everybody in the family knew it. And as you open up the floorboard, you find a small note has been pinned to the underside, sealed with wax. And as you open it up, you find a short note from Dagrin. Brother, if you are reading this, then I have left. If my plan has worked, then I suspect I shan't see you again for quite some time. I have done what no one in our family could ever do. I found Oikos, and I found a way to journey there. If we ever meet again, brother, I will be a true lord, and I cannot wait to send you to the same place I sent father. Dagrin. And that is where we will end the campaign.
Ooh.
Thank you all so very much for playing. And thank you for watching at home. there will, of course, be a season 2.
No, we leave him on that.
Leave you with a little cliffhanger. The plan is that season 2 will probably premiere sometime at the end of summer, end of August, probably. I make no promises right now, but not to worry, we will still have new stuff going up on the channel. In the meantime, we might have, the occasional little extra actual play content, but also we'll do some other fun little videos. So keep an eye out here. Keep an eye out on our social media. We'll be sure to update you on anything and everything. And we'll see you all next time. Oh, not 2 weeks from now, we'll be doing a sort of a discussion video all about the campaign. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section down below. We will be sure to get to as many of those as we can. We will also have questions for each other, I am sure. So look forward to that. And we'll see you all then. Thank you very much.